Yo, what is up, YouTube? Good morning to you here. Happy Saturday when I'm filming this. Wanted to go through a Sky Striker blind going second deck after the alt arts came out. Uh, really wanted to kind of get this running back into rotation here. So wanted to run quickly through the deck list and then a couple gameplays for you. I know this is kind of awkward timing with all the Yubel and Centur-Ion stuff that just came out. But I did mention this in my previous video that I was going to do this, so wanted to get it done, and then we'll move on to some of the newer cards here. But yeah, so running through the card list real quick, just running triple Effect Veiler, one Pillar, triple Maxi, triple Ray, one Rose, one Raigeki, one Feather Duster, one Soul Release, two Change of Heart, and then we've got three of the Engage, two Afterburner, three Talents, two Thrust, one of the Area Zero, one of the Multi-Roll, three copies of the Widow Anchor. We've got one copy of Shark Cannon, two Droplet, running three copies of Linkage, and then triple Evenly Matched. We've got three Kagari, three Shizuku. We've got two Hayate, one Kaina, one Zeke, one Azalea, one Camellia, and then we've got Little Knight, the Combined Maneuver Engage Zero, and then running one of the Azalea Temperance. Yeah, so that is the card list. Like I said, this is blind going second. You going first, you can still make plays, but I prefer to go second with this deck. And so yeah, we'll go into some of the replays here. I think I got about 4 or so that we'll look at, and I think one of them is a mirror match where they chose to go second and forced me to go first, so that'll be interesting to see. But yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to the gameplays. All right, here we go, hopping into game number 1. And this one I won the coin flip, chose to go second. Pretty decent hand here. Got double talents, which is sad. One thrust. We got Engage and we got Ray. But it looks like we're going up against Val Monica. So we'll let them kind of do their thing here. We got no hand traps or anything. Just it's going to be board breakers at this point. But yeah, so they go ahead, set up the scales. They get the Cellatrice out. Cellatrice searches for Skelta. Skelta is then going to search for a Invitare, looks like they needed. So then they're going to probably use that. Go ahead and add the Diamono and the Angelo. They're going to go for the Pendulum Summon. Once they Pendulum Summon, they're going to be able to copy some effects in the graveyard. There we go. Going to search again. Gets the Versare. He's then going to use the Versare to get his other stack. Gonna go ahead and search for more extension. Has the I'm sorry, I lost the name of that card. The Disharmonia. Has the Disharmonia, so he's getting all sorts of stacks built up. And then looks like he is playing Horus Engine at the same time. So this is a little interesting. I haven't seen a Val Monica with Horus. I've seen it with more rank 4 engines. But yeah, so we'll let him go ahead and go into the old classic. Ends up being Abyss Dweller instead. And he's going to shut off graveyards. Going to Reborn. I'm Seti. Pitch a Happy. Uses these two to go into another monster negate. There we go. Photon Lord. Perfect. So then he passes. He's got his Link 1. He's got a Photon Lord. He's got a Abyss Dweller. So this will be a little bit interesting. I'm going to start with a multi-roll set 1, trying to get my cards under. They can't reply to him. He's going to go right for trying to pop it, I believe. Or no, I forgot he didn't throw any of the traps into the graveyard. So he just, for some reason, wasted his effect to search and add. So the Cellatrice coming out. Perfect. And then now I'm going to use the multi-roll like I was planning, pitch the extra copy. This lets me search for the Feather Duster. I'm going to use talents, seal his Link 1 because now he can't use its effect to stop the Feather Duster from going off. So now I just use these two to link straight up. I'm also going to go right into an Azalea and then force out his Monster Negate. So now he's got no more Monster Negate. And then from here now, we use the Engage, go for Afterburners. This is going to let me draw one, got an Effect Veiler, which is nice. Use Afterburners, pop, and then we're going straight up into our Kagari. So then Kagari is going to let me add Engage back. Engage is going to be another search and then draw. So that is super helpful. So then right here now we search for a linkage. And then what we're doing is we're going to try to go in for damage, but he ends up scooping. But yeah, so from there, pretty much was able to beat over, use linkage, go into another guy, stack the graveyard, go into Shizuku in the final part of the main phase, and then we're going to set a ton of back row. So yeah, we'll go ahead and move on to the next replay here. Okay, moving on into gameplay number 2. This one right here, another interesting hand. So we've got Ray, we've got Engage, we've got multi-roll. We do have an evenly match, and then we have Max C. Looks like it's going to be some sort of Diabell Star coming out first. He's going to Ash my Max C, which we're okay with. You know, Maxi is just kind of there to eat interaction in this deck. Most of the time, a lot of your hands, you can get what you're trying to do done without it. But so they go into Ponix. Looks like it's going to be a Fire King deck. Goes for the Sanctuary. Going to use Sanctuary to set up the Fire King Island. Fire King Island's going to pop the Ponix. He's going to search the Garunix. Garunix is going to come out and then pop another body. This is going to be an Arvada. Uses the Arvada to reborn the Ponix. He had an Ulcanix normal summon. He pops the Ponix to get a Kieran. Kieran pop Ulcanix. This gets him 3 bodies. And then this is going straight up into a Promethean Princess. Bestower of Flames, my favorite card. Uses this to reborn the Arvada. And then now he's got a Monster Negate live. He'll have an extra pop off the Promethean, and then he's got a back row set. So I go straight to battle phase. We're going to evenly, gets rid of everything but the Arvada. I'm going to use the Engage a Shark Cannon. I'm now going to use the Shark Cannon to get rid of the Garunix I decided to use this time. We're going to go multi-roll. We're going to use Change of Heart, Steal, and then we're going to use multi-roll to pitch it. That way, none of my spell cards can be reacted to, and it's not a destroy. Go into Kagari. Kagari is then going to let me bring back Engage. Engage is going to let me get another round of searching in. We get a Widow Anchor for negate. We're going to set it. I go into Shizuku. And then now this is like a classic part of your turn 1 combo that you would be going for. End phase, you search Shizu. We use Widow Anchor on Shizu. Then we use multi-roll afterwards to set another Widow Anchor. And then we set an Engage just so that we have extra follow-up. So we have 2 Widow Anchors for them to deal with. They are going to go right for a search for Poplar. Poplar is then going to summon itself, come out. He's going to go straight up into a Linkuriboh and then set itself up in the back row. He didn't search for anything, so we know he doesn't really have much that he can do with it. I'm going to Widow Anchor the Ponix. There we go. Ponix Widow Anchored, and then that causes the scoop because that was pretty much all he could do was go into Hita from there. But yeah, so that is game number 2. All right, game number 3 here. And I think this might be the one where, yep, so this one, they won the coin flip. They chose to go second. They have Sky Striker sleeves, so we're just assuming it's going to be the mirror match. I go ahead and engage for Ray right out the gate. We use Ray. He's going to max C me. So then I chain the Ray quick effect so that I can get Kagari out to give me my engage back without him drawing. So we go for the engage back to hand, and then we're going to use talents. I'm going to look at his hand, and then I'll pause it right here so you can see he has Ray, Widow Anchor, Thrust, and an engage. Out of all of these, engage is the one that I don't care for the most to deal with. So we're just going to shuffle that one back. And then I use my engage the second time, search for a Widow Anchor. And then now we are going to set 3 back row pass, and then it is my turn to max C them. So I'm going to do it in draw phase. I'm not scared of a Gamma unless he top decked it. Looks like he top decked a Raigeki, so he's going to Raigeki my field. I'm going to use the Ray effect to come back out. He's now going to thrust for a Feather Duster, which is something I was kind of expecting, but I'm going to go straight into Kagari. I'm going to use Kagari to give me back an engage. He's going to force the Widow Anchor. I'm going to change the linkage to it, and then that's going to dodge the Widow Anchor, still give me my guy back. We're still going to have a body up on the field for now, and then we're just going to lose our 2 negates in the back row, which is okay, because we know he's just going to go into Ray, and then he's going to just draw me cards off of this. So he has to go Hayate. He's going to use Hayate in battle phase, beat down, pitch the engage that we got rid of, uses this to go into Kagari now, and then add the engage back to hand, use the engage, but then I think he's going to stop summoning at this point because he doesn't want me to draw anymore. But we get the Rose off the top deck from the Maxi, so that's nice. We're going to get that into rotation just so that our engage 0 is more usable. Goes for the multi-roll, which I thought was an interesting search. Sets it up. I think he was hoping he was going to be able to set a bunch of cards, but he didn't use any of his effects, so multi-roll's just kind of dead. I drew a double Afterburner. So right there, he had no interaction, and I had double Afterburner, my own thrust, and an engage live with, you know, Rose in rotation. That was just a lost game for him, sadly. All right, and then now moving into gameplay number 4. This will be the last one here, another one where I go second. Got a beautiful hand for it, so we're gonna let them go. And so this is an interesting one. I won the coin flip, chose to go second. They just set back row and pass, so either they're bricked or they think I'm playing Makonko. I'm gonna go ahead, just Harpy Feather Duster this back row because I'm hoping I can go for lethal right now. They chain Maxi, which is kind of sad. I have no out to it, so we're gonna let them draw a little bit if we play into it. I use Soul Release, just trying to get extra spell cards into the grave. We're going to search a Widow Anchor. I'm then going to set to back row, not give him any draws, and then we're going to pass like that. So now at this point, they pass straight back to me again. So they're super bricked, or they're just ignoring the cards that I used and think I'm still on Makonko. But yeah, so we go into Kagari. Kagari is going to add back. We're going to get our engage back. I'm going to then use these 2 to go up into our Camellia. And then the Camellia is going to let me add another spell to the graveyard. So we're going to stack more spells. Shark Cannon Scent. We're going to use engage. Going to add multi-roll. And then that's also going to draw one. We got a second linkage. So right here is kind of huge. We got double linkage. We're going to pop it off. There we go. We're going to pitch another one. Send the Afterburner. We're going to use another linkage. We're going to go into Shizuku right here. Another beatdown. Then he's got 1500. We're going to add our area 0. We're going to use multi-roll to set a linkage and then set an engage. And then right there we have follow-up. We have a negate, we have effect veiler, we have all sorts of stuff. So it looks like he was just trying to get me to commit more of my board so that he could evenly match me. I'm going to use linkage to swing into Kagari. I was thinking that it was like on summon it searched, but I forgot it's like a new chain link, so that was just kind of a misplay. But I was trying to keep the linkage from getting thrown away as well. He has this Cosmic Cyclone to get rid of my one negate that I left up, and then looks like it is a Yubel deck. So then goes for the Lotus. Lotus is then going to bring out Yubel. Yubel comes out. I get an Afterburner off the Maxi draw. I'm going to Effect Veiler the Yubel, stop him from getting any other cards into rotation. He's now gonna have to use these two to shuffle back into the Phantom, and then sets another back row. And we got a Forbidden Droplet from that, so that's really big. We get an evenly match. Instead of me just going straight into evenly him, I'm going to Afterburner his two cards. I'm gonna use this to Reborn Rose, and then that's enough for lethal. But yeah, so that was the last replay there. Really enjoy this deck going second. Some of the tech options are in there specifically for like Fire King, Snake Eyes types matchups. So we'll kind of go back into the deck here just to do some closing thoughts. Okay, so here is closing thoughts on the deck, ratios, things like that you could do different. This build, I wouldn't say is the best be all end all of it. Extra deck in particular, you can do a lot of different stuff with it. People not running things like Temperance or Zeke, but really kind of up to you. You could fit in like access code talker packages, things like that. But I kind of prefer running these just for the option of having the extra follow-ups. And more of a pure Sky Striker variation. Literally the only card in the extra deck is just Little Knight that's not Sky Striker related. But yeah, and then in here, Soul Release, I'm running one copy of it just because it's searchable off of Thrust. If you top deck it, it's nice too. But literally, like, as the game starts, you know, you bait one hand trap or anything, and you can search for Soul Release, or if you have it, and then you just target like Garunix, Promethean, like all of their stuff that's going to be a graveyard pop effect or any type of extender for them. You just hit it with Soul Release and get rid of it. Same thing if they kept their say they kept their original Sin, trying to use that on the following turn to return a body and search for a level 1, you can just Soul Release that as well. So a lot of good options with the Soul Release. A lot of people, you know, they either run Afterburner at 1, or I've seen people run none of them. With how prevalent back row is right now and how easy it is with this deck for you to get 3 spells into the graveyard, I think having the Afterburner is huge. Even if you pop one of your own monsters to destroy a back row, it is absolutely huge just to kind of stop that from happening. Evenly is giant in the meta right now. I hate evenly matched personally. It's like one of my least favorite cards, but with this deck, it just has too much synergy where if you waste a battle phase trying to evenly a guy, you're going to gain so much advantage in interruption that it doesn't matter. They basically lose their entire board. You then go into main phase 2, full combo and search and add whatever cards you're looking for. If you have access to multi-roll, you're just going to set a full row of back row. So evenly is really, really big right now. Tons and tons of people aren't running generic Omni Negates. Pretty much Baron de Fleur is like one of the few that you run into, and Baron is one of the easiest cards on the planet to bait. So it to me, it's just one of those things that like Omni Negates are hated by the community, but at the same time, if all the Omni Negates die, things like this are just going to be blowout cards, and it's the same thing. You know, it's like you feeling like, okay, I didn't draw the out for me to get out of this guy's board is the same thing as this guy just drew one of his 3 copies of Evenly and you lost everything. So to me, it's just a double-edged sword. But yeah, this is one of the few decks I have that I actually run it in, just because I feel like the whole point of this deck is to just break boards. so why not add the greatest board breaker ever? But yeah, so that was the closing thoughts on the deck here. Sky Striker, blind going second. Love this deck, love the card art, love the alt arts. I had a whale out on it. But yeah, so we will be moving into some newer content here on Yubel and Centur-Ion. Probably going to do Yubel first, and then we'll move into Centur-Ion. But I appreciate any feedback that you guys may have, and hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks.
Artificial love.